Guys, good morning.
Hello.
The entire band, Vera Sola. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having us.
You just played Skulls, which is a rendition of a song that was originally released by horror punk band from the late 70s, 80s, the Misfits.
Yep.
Let's take a look at that band before
Cool.
we talk any further.
Point me to the sky above. I can't get there on my own. Walk me to the graveyard. Dig a purple.
Why did you decide to make an EP with their music particularly?
Well, it was after I'd actually recorded my own record, and I was in this period of post-production that was taking forever, and I was getting antsy, and I wanted to record something. And I'd been messing around, as I always do, with different covers of songs, my favorite songs from childhood. So I, have done disco and done all sorts of things. But the Misfits were very important to me as a teenager, and
Why?
I loved the music. I loved everything about it. I loved the costume, I loved the style, but also the song forms are really beautiful. They're 50s pop progressions, basically, because Glenn Danzig loved and loves Elvis Presley. So they're these really classic song forms with these horrifying lyrics, and it's sort of, those song forms are hidden beneath all of the distortion. And I kind of wanted to bring that back out. And so I was just messing around at a bar late one night with a guitar, and someone loved it, and they said, you should record those. And so I went into the studio and did the same thing which I did with my this record, and just played them all myself, and sort of took them back to the origins, the 50s origins, but also, I'm just me, so it's
Yeah.
filtered through my own lens and my own body and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about the record you were waiting for post-production. That's
Yeah.
your debut album. And you just mentioned, they had this horrifying lyrics. Like, how do you relate to those dark topics? Is that something you sort of have yourself in your solo project?
Certainly. I don't think as dark as the Misfits. Pretty dark, but there's also a lot of humor in those lyrics, and I find a lot of them to be very funny, and I think I'm certain that the Misfits do too.
Yeah.
There's a dark humor in there, which is definitely in my lyrics as well.
Yes.
The darkest ones are self-aware in their humor. So.
Yeah. So that's also part of your personality, maybe something
Sure.
that you feel drawn to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that was the Misfits. You were doing your own album as well, and before you were doing all of that, you were a touring musician in different bands.
Yeah.
Elvis Perkins folk rock band from New York is one of them.
Yeah.
And you guys were here like 3 years ago.
We were almost 3 years ago to the day. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were playing bass in that band,
Bass and
amongst other things.
yeah,
right?
harp and harmonium. Yeah. I
Yeah.
played all three, I think, on this show.
Yes. So this was like 3 years ago. What made you decide to spread your wings as a soloist?
Well, the touring cycle for that album ended, and Elvis went back into the studio and started to record some new stuff of his own. And my life sort of came apart in many ways. I lost my other job. I was on the radio, and my radio show got canceled, and there was family illness, and all sorts of things were happening. And I didn't really know what else to do. And I'd never played my songs for anybody.
So you were writing before that, even as a background musician?
Oh yeah, I was, but I was never singing or playing them for anyone. I was doing it in my bedroom. And not even Elvis, who's my closest friend, really knew what I was doing. And at this moment of like complete upheaval, I just decided, why not? Why not go into the studio and record these things?
Yeah. And why did even such a close friend, someone you were in a band with, didn't know about you writing? What was that?
Well, I was scared. I was always afraid of my voice, and afraid of sharing my voice with people.
Why?
I'm not sure. I can't even say that because I'm a voice actor as well, and was on the radio for a long time. I've never had a problem with public performance, with theater, with public speaking, but something about singing opened me up to a vulnerability that I wasn't yet ready to face. And it wasn't until I went into the studio that I really shook that off.
And went for it.
And went for it, and everything changed. My voice changed, Fear is very powerful.
Yes, yes, I can imagine. And very short, Elvis has also played an important role in the whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been my biggest supporter from the beginning.
What are the most important things that you learned from him that sort of empowered you to do this?
Well, first of all, he was the one who took me out as a professional touring musician for the first time. And he also really imparted to me that I could play any instrument I wanted to, even if I didn't have proper training in it. He was like, who cares? Just do it. You have the musicality, you can do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, having a sense of humor and just the unending support that he's offered.
Super important.
Yeah.
Did it feel like the end of an era to leave a band and do everything on your own? Did you leave like a total different person behind and sprout into Vera Sola?
Absolutely. I totally, you know, killed off all of that inhibition for sure. But I'm still playing with Elvis. We go at the end of the month to play in Spain together. I still play in his band when I can. So it's not totally gone.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, I had to shed. It's like a snake skin.
Yeah,
I
you
had to
shed it.
shed it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And out of that came Vera Sola.
Yeah.
Who is she? Like, what is it? What does it stand for, Vera Sola?
Well, the story behind the name is very long and very both funny and not funny. But
As short as you can.
As short as I can. At its core, it's basically offering up sort of my truth that I've been hiding for a long time.
That's Vera.
Vera.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Sola.
Is alone. And so, or only. So it's the only truth, or truth alone, or actually it started out as the only Vera because I started my career as Vera only without the last name.
Yeah.
But then many other musicians were called Vera, so it was sort of a joke because I wasn't the only Vera.
And you also do everything alone. So that kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Okay. Yeah, but recording the album
Yeah.
was something you did on your own.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit like how that was for you, just to do everything alone. Was it like a counterbalance from being in all these different bands that you needed to do all of it by yourself?
Well, I didn't intend to. When I went into the studio, I had plans for a lot of friends to come in. You know, Elvis was supposed to come play guitar on the record and a number of other people. But when I got there, I realized that in order to truly knock down these walls and transcend these barriers that I'd built up for myself, I actually had to do it alone to prove it to myself that I could. And that in so doing, I would be able to channel this incredible energy that was going through me at that point, and it would be unbroken and be a sort of vessel of this person that I was letting go of and this person that I was becoming.
Without
and
interferences of any.
of any other outside influence.
Yeah. I see that.
And, you know, for better or worse, that's what happened.
Yeah. I have the album here. It's called Shades. It just came out.
Yeah, today.
Fresh.
Fresh, yeah.
It
You can
has,
smell it.
Yeah. It has an amazing cover. I love this. You on a wedding with a wedding dress on the kitchen sink. I don't know, hiding from who or what. It's amazing. You do the visuals yourself as well.
I do, yes. I didn't take that photograph on a timer, but I do.
Think of the whole.
I do lay out the whole thing, and I have my hand in almost everything in this project. Actually, absolutely everything. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. We're going to go to the next song you're going to perform. It's called The Colony. It comes also with a great clip.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. What is it about?
It's about America, the founding of America, and the continued state of the country.
From the perspective of the.
The colonizer.
Wow.
And specifically the white colonizer. It's the sort of collective white consciousness as filtered through a person who is white presenting and conscious
Yeah.
of my own part in the continued state of things, even though, you know, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Like just by being who I am, you know, and being on that land, I'm a part of the problem.
Do you feel responsible to write a song like this?
I guess so. Yeah, it's hard to look at the world today and not feel and not feel these things. I was in North Dakota. I wrote it very swiftly after being in North Dakota for a long time at the Standing Rock reservation, protesting the pipeline, or especially helping out the people who were really
Wow.
there protesting the pipeline.
Yeah.
And I came back with this feeling of conflict, of pain and empathy, and also guilt for what, you know, my ancestors and my people have done, basically. So that's
Wow.
what it's from. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy, but I think it's beautiful that you take the risk. It's also a risk to write something like that, and
Sure.
that you went ahead and did that.
Well, thank you.
So we're gonna listen to that.
Okay.